The way you speak to yourself shapes the way you live with yourself. Welcome to Wellness Within USA. In this journey, we'll explore the art of self-compassion, the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding you offer to others. Together, we'll uncover how self-compassion transforms shame into acceptance, failure into growth, and loneliness into connection. Story-driven introduction. Imagine a child learning to walk. He stumbles, falls, and cries. A parent doesn't scold, they encourage, comfort, and help him rise again. Self-compassion is treating yourself the same way, not with judgment, but with kindness. Suspense builds when you realize, most of us are harsher to ourselves than to anyone else. The transformation begins when you change that inner voice. Understanding self-compassion. Self-compassion is not indulgence. It is strength born from kindness. Self-kindness, speaking gently to yourself. Common humanity, realizing everyone struggles. Mindfulness, observing pain without exaggeration or denial. Suspense element, the thrill lies in realizing compassion is not weakness, it is resilience. Narrative example. Aisha, a young professional, failed an important project. Her inner critic shouted, "You're worthless." But when she practiced self-compassion, pausing, breathing, and reminding herself that mistakes are human, she found courage to try again. Her failure became her teacher, not her enemy. Daily practices to build self-compassion. Compassionate pause. When you fail, pause and say, "It's okay. I'm learning." Mirror affirmations. Look into the mirror and speak kind words to yourself. Self-compassion journal. Write down moments when you showed yourself kindness. Mindful breathing. Observe emotions without judgment. Suspense lies in realizing how these small rituals silence the critic and awaken the encourager. The hidden enemy, the inner critic. The inner critic whispers, "You're not enough." Self-compassion replies, "You are human, and that is enough." The thrill is discovering that the critic is not truth, it is just a voice you can choose to quiet. Lifelong impact. Self-compassion doesn't just help in moments, it shapes identity, health, and relationships. Emotional wellness. Self-kindness reduces anxiety and depression. Health. Compassion lowers stress hormones and strengthens immunity. Relationships. Compassion deepens empathy for others. Identity. You begin to see yourself as worthy, not broken. Suspense builds when you realize self-compassion is the hidden key to lasting peace. Real-life story. Bilal, a teacher, struggled with burnout. His inner critic told him he was failing his students. By practicing self-compassion, journaling, affirmations, and mindful breathing, he regained energy and connection. The thrill was not just his recovery, but the safe environment he created for his students. Lifelong journey. Self-compassion practice is not about escaping mistakes. It's about living fully, with awareness, kindness, and acceptance. The ultimate suspense lies in discovering that love was never outside you, it was hidden within, waiting to be uncovered. The journey continues. Imagine the child from this video, still learning to walk. He stumbles again, but this time he whispers to himself, "It's okay. I'm learning." That whisper is self-compassion in action. In life, these daily practices become the gentle hand that lifts us when we fall. Practice 1, the compassionate pause. Self-compassion begins with awareness. The pause is your first tool. How to practice. When failure or criticism strikes, pause. Place your hand on your heart and breathe deeply. Whisper, "I am human. Mistakes are part of growth." Suspense element. At first, the pause feels unnatural. But slowly, it becomes a doorway to peace. Science. Pausing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming stress responses. Story. A student paused before reacting to harsh feedback. That pause turned shame into motivation. Practice 2, the self-compassion journal. Journaling is the mirror that reveals kindness toward yourself. How to practice. Write down 3 moments daily when you showed yourself compassion, or when you wish you had. Suspense element. The thrill lies in realizing patterns of self-criticism can be rewritten into encouragement. Science. Journaling improves emotional regulation and strengthens self-awareness. Story. A professional wrote daily notes of self-kindness. Over time, her inner critic softened, and her confidence grew. Practice 3, mirror affirmations. Affirmations are the voice that replaces the critic. How to practice. Stand before a mirror, look into your eyes, and say, "I am worthy of kindness." Suspense element. At first, the words feel hollow. But slowly, they become truth. Science. Affirmations rewire neural pathways, strengthening positive self-belief. Story. A teacher practiced mirror affirmations before class. Her calm presence inspired her students. Practice 4, mindful breathing. Breathing is the anchor that grounds emotions. How to practice. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and observe emotions without judgment. Suspense element, the thrill lies in realizing emotions lose their power when observed with compassion. Science, mindful breathing reduces anxiety and strengthens resilience. Story, a nurse practiced mindful breathing during stressful shifts. Her calmness spread to patients. Practice 5, compassionate imagery. Visualization is the compass that points toward kindness. How to practice: imagine yourself as a child, struggling. Visualize offering comfort and encouragement. Suspense element, the thrill lies in realizing compassion can be practiced through imagination. Science, visualization strengthens empathy and emotional regulation. Story, an entrepreneur visualized comforting herself during setbacks. Her resilience grew stronger. Real-life story, narrative style. Consider Amina, a young professional. She struggled with deadlines and self-doubt. By practicing pausing, journaling, affirmations, breathing, and visualization, she rewired her inner dialogue. The thrill was not just her survival, but her transformation into a compassionate leader. The hidden enemy, the inner critic. The inner critic whispers, "You're not enough." Self-compassion replies, "You are human, and that is enough." Suspense builds when you realize the critic is not reality, it's just a voice you can choose to quiet. Lifelong impact. Daily self-compassion practices are not quick fixes. They are seeds planted in the mind. With consistency, they grow into awareness, kindness, and resilience. Emotional wellness, pausing reduces anxiety. Resilience, journaling strengthens confidence. Relationships, affirmations deepen empathy. Identity, breathing reshapes self-belief. Health, visualization improves sleep and immunity. The suspense lies in discovering that self-compassion is built one small act at a time. The transformation. Imagine waking up one day and realizing your inner critic no longer controls you. The harsh voice is faint, while the compassionate voice is strong. That transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens through daily pauses, journals, affirmations, breathing, and visualization. The thrill is discovering that the person you once doubted, yourself, has become your greatest ally. The inner shift. Imagine the child from this video. He still stumbles, but now every fall feels lighter. Why? Because the voice inside no longer says, "You're weak," it whispers, "You're learning." This is the thrill of transformation, when self-compassion turns shame into acceptance, failure into growth, and loneliness into connection. Psychological shifts through self-compassion. Clarity in chaos, self-compassion reframes mistakes as lessons. Reduced anxiety and stress, compassion lowers cortisol, calming the nervous system. Resilient identity, you begin to see yourself not as broken, but as worthy. Suspense element, imagine facing rejection, a missed opportunity, a harsh critique, yet feeling calm, because self-compassion reminds you of your humanity. Practical impact in daily life. Self-compassion spills into every corner of life. Workplace, leaders who practice self-compassion recover faster from setbacks and inspire loyalty. Relationships, couples who embrace self-compassion communicate better and grow stronger. Health, compassion improves sleep, lowers blood pressure, and strengthens immunity. Research insight, studies show that self-compassion consistently increases resilience and happiness across cultures. Suspense element, the hidden shift. At first, self-compassion feels like effort, pausing, journaling, affirmations. But then, subtle changes appear. You pause naturally before self-criticism. You notice hidden strengths in your struggles. You feel connected to the present moment. The thrill lies in realizing transformation is happening quietly, beneath the surface, like roots growing deep before a tree blossoms. Social ripple effect. Self-compassion doesn't just change individuals, it changes communities. Schools, students who practice self-compassion show higher focus and lower bullying. Hospitals, patients treated by compassionate staff recover faster. Workplaces, teams with compassion culture innovate more and burn out less. Suspense builds when you realize self-compassion could be the hidden key to a more compassionate society. Case example. Consider Ahmed, a corporate manager. His team faced constant deadlines and conflicts. By practicing self-compassion, pausing, journaling, and affirmations, he noticed morale improve, meetings became calmer, and conflicts resolved faster. The thrill was not just his transformation, but the ripple effect on everyone around him. Long-term transformation. Self-compassion doesn't just change moods, it changes identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who rises after setbacks, adapts to challenges, and inspires others. Identity shift, you no longer define yourself by failures. Leadership growth, you lead with empathy and patience. Community impact, your compassion sparks transformation in those around you. Suspense lies in realizing that self-compassion is contagious, your practice inspires others to grow stronger. The self-compassion paradox. Here's the paradox: self-compassion doesn't erase mistakes. Deadlines, conflicts, and crises will still exist. The suspense lies in realizing that self-compassion changes how you experience those mistakes. Stressful events lose their power, and kindness becomes your default state. Real-life story. Fatima, a nurse, faced exhausting shifts. By practicing self-compassion, pausing, mirror affirmations, and journaling, she noticed reduced burnout and deeper patient trust. The thrill was not just her recovery, but the healing environment she created for others. Future of self-compassion. Technology is now part of self-compassion transformation. Apps, guided journaling makes practice accessible. Virtual retreats, online communities support global compassion growth. AI tools, personalized self-compassion journeys track progress. Suspense lies in imagining a future where self-compassion is as common as physical exercise, a global movement toward emotional wellness. Lifelong journey. Self-compassion mastery is not about escaping mistakes. It's about living fully, with awareness, kindness, and acceptance. The ultimate suspense lies in discovering that love was never outside you, it was hidden within, waiting to be uncovered. With advanced practices, long-term benefits, and lifestyle integration, self-compassion becomes a lifelong journey. Stress will always exist, but with mastery, you can always find peace in uncertainty. The path to mastery. Self-compassion begins with small acts, pausing, journaling, affirmations, breathing. But mastery means weaving these practices into your identity. It's no longer something you do, it becomes who you are. Imagine waking up and realizing your first thought is not criticism but kindness. That shift is mastery. Advanced practices for self-compassion. Mindful reflection, spend 10 minutes daily reviewing moments of self-compassion. Ask, did I treat myself kindly today? Perspective shifting, consciously view failures as teachers, not enemies. Suspense lies in realizing how differently setbacks appear when seen through compassion. Silent observation, practice observing self-critical thoughts without judgment. Notice their voice, then let them fade. Compassion training, extend self-compassion outward, to strangers, colleagues, even those who challenge you. Case example, a leader practicing mindful reflection discovered that his harshness toward himself was spilling into his team. By shifting perspective, he transformed his leadership style. Long-term benefits. Self-compassion mastery reshapes identity, health, and relationships. Resilient identity, you begin to see yourself as someone who thrives through kindness. Health, compassion lowers blood pressure, strengthens immunity, and improves sleep quality. Relationships, long-term self-compassion deepens trust, intimacy, and cooperation. Leadership, leaders with high self-compassion inspire loyalty and innovation. Research insight, studies show that self-compassionate individuals consistently report stronger adaptability and higher life satisfaction. Suspense element, the ultimate twist. Here's the twist: self-compassion doesn't erase mistakes. Deadlines, conflicts, and crises will still exist. The suspense lies in realizing that self-compassion changes how you experience those mistakes. Stressful events lose their power, and kindness becomes your default state. Self-compassion as a lifestyle. Mastery means self-compassion is no longer a ritual, it's your way of living. At work, you lead with patience and empathy. At home, you listen deeply, creating stronger bonds. In society, you contribute to a calmer, more compassionate world. Suspense builds when you realize self-compassion could be the hidden key to transforming not just individuals, but entire communities. Case example. Fatima, a doctor, faced constant emergencies. By integrating self-compassion into her daily routine, journaling before surgeries, affirmations during shifts, empathy with patients, she noticed reduced burnout and deeper patient trust. The thrill was not just her recovery, but the ripple effect on her hospital environment. Future of self-compassion. Technology is now part of self-compassion mastery. Apps, guided journaling and compassion reminders make practice accessible. Virtual retreats, online communities support global compassion growth. AI tools, personalized self-compassion journeys track progress and provide feedback. Suspense lies in imagining a future where self-compassion is as common as physical exercise, a global movement toward emotional wellness. Lifelong journey. Self-compassion mastery is not about escaping mistakes. It's about living fully, with awareness, kindness, and acceptance. The ultimate suspense lies in discovering that love was never outside you, it was hidden within, waiting to be uncovered. With advanced practices, long-term benefits, and lifestyle integration, self-compassion becomes a lifelong journey. Stress will always exist, but with mastery, you can always find peace in uncertainty. If this video inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Wellness Within USA, share it with friends, and comment below how self-compassion is shaping your journey. Together, we can build a global community of kindness, resilience, and emotional strength.